Hi everybody, this is Dennis on Altegra coming to you from Mazatlan, Sinaloa. This is take two. I shot this video and posted it yesterday, and a good friend pointed out that I missed something extremely important. And then I looked at the video and someone said it's backwards, so I put the camera the other way around, so I decided just to redo it. So this is going to be take two. So hopefully this will work out better. So the other day I was having a conversation with some friends, and we were got to the subject of security. And after that I thought, well, I've worked out a pretty good plan on my boat, I believe. And I just thought I'd share with you what I have done. I have a system of bars that I had made, stainless steel bars. And I have some items down below that I keep with me. Now, I had the bars made prior to coming south. I had some of it made in Canada, some of it made in Ensenada. And the reason it's really poignant to me, and hopefully to you, is that I had what they call a hot prowl burglary. 3 o'clock in the morning here in Mazatlan, two guys came on board the boat, and while I was sleeping down below, one of them sat right here, and then there's the other side of the companionway. The other guy sat there, and they had a beer. They sat and they sat here and drank a beer, listening and waiting till they were satisfied that I had gone to sleep. And many of you will know that when you sleep on a boat, after you've been on a boat a while, and I've been on this boat 27 years, is that you become very, very attuned to changes in sound. And I'm certainly hyper aware. So these two guys sat here, and when they thought, okay, he's asleep, they slowly pushed the slide open, and the bars were in. I'll show you them. I think he climbed over, very quietly went down to the bottom of the companionway, touched the floor. The floor made a sound that I recognized instantly. I immediately awoke, fully alert, and I slowly looked around, and I saw a human shape in the dark at the bottom of the companionway. And quite foolishly, everybody says, and probably quite right, but we worked out, I came out of my forward cabin like a raging bull. I'm not afraid of people, and I'm not afraid of confrontation. I know how to look after myself, and I know how to defend myself. But I came out of there, and the guy, he didn't even walk up the steps. He elevated out of here, and they were gone, two of them. What I didn't know in particular at the time is they had knives. One of them had a very sharp knife, and I found some damage that he did. He put a big cut in my cork and my teeth. My cockpit seats, but anyway, they were gone. I went after them. I didn't go very far because I couldn't see where they were, and I was also out there at 2 o'clock in the morning with no clothes. I don't wear anything at night, it's too warm. So, having said that, I'll just show you what I have that I think works pretty good. First off, for here, in the companionway, I have a really nice set of bars. This was made and designed by a welder in Ensenada. It wasn't what I wanted. I wanted two pieces, so I could take one out, leave one in. And he, when he was making it, said, no, it's not going to work, and he made it this way. And I'm very glad he did. This has worked out exceedingly well. I'm very, very happy with it. All these holes are small enough. A 10-year-old kid cannot get his head through here. If a 10-year-old kid can't get his head through, he won't get in. If his head can get in, he'll probably be able to get, if he's really flexible, get his body in. Here in Mexico, that kind of thing isn't really an issue. They don't use kids. In Europe, it could be a problem. So this, I have this companionway, and then I have the slider comes over top. Everything is stainless steel. I've gotten rid of all the teak. I don't want that stuff. I don't want to have to look after it. So the stainless steel works really well. And then for this also, for down here where it's warm, I always have ventilation. And if it rains, I have a little canvas with a window that just snaps up on top here, closes off and keeps the rain out the window. And then I can just remove that. That works really well. Keeps giving me light down below. A lot of boats, you'll see they have wooden drop boards and they are doors and they close themselves off in there. They go back, people stay down below and they live in their little cave. And I'm not living that way. So let's just get a little closer look. There are some of the features. This is all stainless, all along here, down here, and around there, and up there. Now, the locking system. I have a aspen staple there, and an aspen staple there. I use an Arbus lock. See if that focuses. Arbus is one of the best locks that you can buy. And one of the features of it that I really like is when it goes in, little one-handed here. Okay, just gonna put this okay, here. There. Okay. When it's in, you can't cut that. You can't get bolt cutters in there. You'd have to use a zip saw, and that would make a lot of noise. And nobody's going to want to do that because these types of people are going to break in. They're just smash and grab. They want to go. Get your stuff and go. So I have this one here, and then I can put, when I leave the boat, I put it on both sides. I also have on my cockpit lockers, I have a Beneteau. I bought this. This is on later Beneteaus. A little lock. There's a pin that pops out, and the lock goes on there. And I do the same on my on the lazarettes. Works out. These things work out really well. And again, you can't get in there. You can't get in there to cut them. So it's a deterrent. Anybody who's going to come on your boat is going to be looking to get in and out. They want to be in and out in less than a minute. So my boat, when it happened, I was targeted. I just had a little slot down here by the pedestal where this just sits. So we'll go down below and I'll show you some of the other stuff. I was targeted. Turn the music off. I was targeted because I was on board. Boats that are left in marinas and people leave them, they're going to go for electronics. But electronics are hard to fence. They want cash, jewelry, computers, and phones. Okay, so this is my main hatch in the main salon. I don't use this as egress. It's just too hard to get in and out. But again, it was made a circle. We made a design that looked kind of nice and put it in there. The holes, again, are too small for a 10-year-old to get their head through. So that's pretty hard to get in. And it goes bolted in. I'll show you up in front. So this is in the main salon. Stainless steel, 3/8" solid rod. And so coming forward into my master cabin, I have the forward hatch. I have 2 single bars that sit up there. Now, you might ask the question, well, that's egress. How are you going to get out? Well, the way that these are installed is pretty simple. There's 2 bars, and on one side, there's a nut and it's threaded. This one and the ones in the main cabin are very, very tight. The back one, I'm small enough that all I need to do is remove one and I can egress. So this, I've already pre-loosened this one. Normally I'd have to put a wrench on it myself, but I have the wrench very handy. So I just spin this back, just comes forward, and then it comes out the other side. And then I put it in. Now I can get this out, I can egress out that hole easily. If I have to take time to do it, there's nothing that's going to happen, even a fire, that you need to panic. Nothing's going to happen that fast that you can't just take that 20 seconds to get this thing out, and you'll move awful fast. I'll tighten that down later. So that is a deterrent, and that's really what you want to deter. So I have a number of things I keep in this area right beside. This is my bed, and I have it. It's propped up. It's propped up every day. That is to dry out the bottom of the mattress. It's close-up foam, but the amount of water that you sweat during the night is pretty amazing. So this goes up every day, and I never ever have an issue with any kind of mildew. So up here, I have a number of items that I keep by my bed. I'll just give you a quick overview of them here. So number one most important thing I have is VHF handheld, pre-tuned to channel 16. This is right by my head. If you need to call for help in a foreign country, unless you are fluent in the language, this is going to be your salvation, because you will turn on 16 and get somebody that speaks English. If you tried here in Mexico to make a phone call and you called the police, if you're not fluent, they're not going to understand you. You're not going to be able to just tell them where you are. And the police don't come here anyway. You have to pay them. Basically, virtually have to pay them to come. They're not interested, especially for foreigners. They don't care. It's your problem. So this is the number one. More important than a cell phone, this is it, because you'll always be able to call out in here and get somebody who speaks English that can relay for you. The second thing I have, most important, is my air horn. This is what I keep outside on the pedestal. This is required by law, Canadian law anyway, because my boat's registered in Canada, that I have to have an air horn. This actually does not comply because my boat's too big. I'm supposed to have a device, but I don't have a device, so I use this, and this is double duty. So whenever I'm in the dock or at anchor, this is always beside my bed because it is extremely loud. And it will, inside here, make a huge noise, and that will unnerve anybody. You start yelling and you get this horn going, they're going to be so unnerved they're going to be gone. They're quite likely going to be on some drugs. And that is an issue in itself, and we're going to get to that. If they're on meth, then it is a problem, but still the noise will be very disorienting and incentivize them to go. The next thing I have is I have wasp spray. Bear spray is illegal here in Mexico. You can't get it here. You can't buy it. You can't hold it. If you have it, you can be in big trouble. So wasp spray is another alternative. I'd like to have bear spray, but this is actually in many ways better. And the fact that you can shoot 25, 30 feet with this with good accuracy. I can take the cap off and that spray nozzle, I can get a nice big blob 25 feet away, so somebody at the bottom of my companionway I could hit in the face. And you get this in your eyes, you got a problem. Now you got a serious problem. And if you're gonna get out, if you can see. Now the thing that I forgot on my video yesterday is, this is probably equally important other than the radio, is an LED light. This is a very, very powerful LED. It's got 1500 lumens. It's a bike light. This is a little thing that snaps on a little bike holder, tiny little rechargeable. I use this at night when I'm sailing, because this will light up my mainsail, and the top of my mainsail 60 feet off the deck. And this lights up my mainsail. I can see the telltales. I can't quite see the telltales on my headsail, but I have another light that I can use for that. So I have two different kinds. LED light. The little guy is really, really good because it fits in your pocket, and it's really handy close to the bed. It's easy to use. Big button goes on, and it comes in. It actually changes colors too. But this is extremely bright. You flash that in somebody's eyes, that's going to give you the advantage of being able to spray them if you need to, or if they don't move out or not get going, the noise doesn't get them out. So those are three things. Four things that you really need. The other thing I have, which I hope I never have to use, but if it came down to a confrontation what I have is my Japanese pull saw. This is a woodworking tool, and it is a deadly, deadly weapon. It's got blade covers on it. There's two sides. Now, hopefully I can focus these things to give you a shot of the blades on both sides. Many of them. It's the Japanese double cut, but it's a pull saw. It's only cuts when you pull. So I leave these things on because this is sharper than a scalpel. It's very flexible, and it will do a huge amount of damage very, very quickly. You don't, in a small confined space, what you don't need to do is you don't need to slash. It's not like a sword or a big knife. All you need to do is extend it out, and more than likely if it gets close, somebody's going to grab it, and that's what you want. And as soon as they grab it, all you do is pull it. And if they have it in their hand, this will cut. One pull back, they're going to lose fingers. If you do get it, if you need to get in and get towards their wrist, one pull, that hand is gone. And if you need to get up close, if you're going to be up close and you have to go for a head shot, they'll be dead. You take this across their neck, you're going to cut that carotid artery, and they're going to bleed. They're going to be not dead before they hit the floor, but they're going to make one hell of a mess in your boat. So you really don't want to ever think about using this. And you don't want to be, so the other thing I'm going to say is you do not want to even think about using a gun. If you have a gun, get rid of it. So the other thing I do, I changed a habit. My bed. I used to sleep with my head aft, and I was behind this bulkhead, and this incident changed my mind. I now sleep with my head forward, that way. Everything is right here close to me. So if anything, I look straight down the boat, and I can see the companionway. So if anybody even came in the cockpit, I would see them before they got in the boat, which gives me a huge advantage, forewarning. So that is a big thing to think about. Where you are, can you see the companionway? Now, I'm just going to say a little bit more about weapons. If you have a gun and you're not licensed in Mexico, you get caught with it, you are in super, super big trouble. You'll be in jail. It's not worth it. You even brandish the gun and somebody sees it, calls the police, you are in jail. You can get a license in Mexico if you want. You can get a license for a handgun. You can get a license for long run. It requires a visit to Mexico City, and it takes about 2 weeks, but you can do it. And it's just 2 weeks. It takes about 3 weeks to a month to get the license, and then you can have it. But if you use it, you can be in extremely big trouble. So on that note, I hope that this information has been helpful. If you don't have to worry about, other than this one incident here, I've had more trouble back in Canada and the United States than I ever have here. It's not a dangerous place. It's very safe. We have good guards. As far as the radio is concerned, I should say call 16. When you're ever in a marina, they all got security. They're going to get down to you. And that's a lot better than having any kind of a police presence. If they would come with it, I doubt it. So there you go. Again, I hope that was helpful, and I hope this one works out a little better than the first one. And we'll soon see. Okay, have a great day. Can take us a buen día.